Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about all the movies I have gotten in December before Christmas. Yeah, it's a lot.
Nerd theory.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name's Brian, and I write and I collect physical media. I collect physical media more than I write, so as you can probably tell. But today I want to talk about all the things that I've gotten in December already, before actually getting holiday gifts this year, real quick, and I'll probably do another video on that in the next few days because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty good. But first off, I mean, it's a mix. You got some studio releases, you got some, boutique labels. But first off, I want to get the weed out of the way and show you the Misaki, Yuasa box set. Now, I didn't know who this was. I've actually watched some of these stills before, not really knowing, who they were by, back in the day. But I saw the trailer for this, and I just remembered it being so unique and the animation being so beautiful compared. I mean, a lot of anime is beautiful, but really, this one really just stands out to me. So can't wait to get into this. Now, full disclosure, some people are werewolf people, some people are vampire people, some people are, ghost people when it comes to their movies or whatever they decide to watch. I'm a big werewolf fan, I've realized over the years, and one of those movies is Silver Bullet. This is the 4K Silver Bullet from Scream Factory, and as much as I really enjoy having this, for $30 Scream Factory, could you give me a slipcase? Is that too much to ask? Next up is a Steelbook edition of the new Ninja Turtles movie. I'm a huge Ninja Turtles nerd. Ever since I bought my first Eastman and Laird comic book back in like 1989. But I like this movie overall. I dug the animation. The ending was a little weird to me. But other than that, I really enjoyed the movie, and I got this Steelbook. It's pretty cool. Next up is a movie I haven't seen since the 80s. And I've always meant to kind of go back and watch it because I remember liking it. And I'll probably appreciate it more now as an adult, but Clue. And the only reason I watched this because my grandparents had the Clue board game at the house, and me and the cousin would play Clue, so that's why it interested me in the first place. But I actually saw this a couple of times back when I was a kid, and my wife never watched it. So this edition is from Shout Factory. It has a slip. So looking forward to this one. Next up is a movie I have not seen yet, but I keep on seeing multiple things about it, and it's in 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. This is actually The Wailing horror film. Once again, I've seen these on like top horror list, for maybe it was last year, I think. But interested in diving into this one, and I'm really glad it came to 4K. Next up is a holiday classic, one that I don't have yet, surprisingly enough, but it finally came out in 4K, and that's Scrooged with Bill Murray. This is actually it's a really good holiday film. And I remember going to my dad to the theater to see this when it came out. But another take on the Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge, Christmas Tale, just a little more modernized. Well, 80s modernized anyway. But there you go. Next up, I've been looking for some good sci-fi, and I don't really know if it's going to be good sci-fi. I heard a lot, even though the movie didn't do well at the box office. In 4K, I got The Creator. I really enjoy this director who did this. He also did the Star Wars movie, Rogue One. I watched it, and I'm just like, yeah, that looks up my alley. And so I'm really hoping it pans out. Let me know if you've seen this or what you thought in the comments below. Next one is another Stephen King one. One of my favorite Stephen King movies. It's also a David Cronenberg movie, who's kind of rising up there to be my favorite directors, really. And that is from Scream Factory, The Dead Zone in 4K, which contains one of the lines I like to quote the most whenever I can.
The ice is gonna break!
Next up from Arrow is the 4K release of The Warriors. Never seen The Warriors. I've always been kind of meant to, and I just, for whatever reason, didn't get around to it. I almost bought the imprint edition of it. Yeah, I had to watch this sooner than later. This next one I got online used, just another Criterion. It's an Ozu film called An Autumn Afternoon, to be, kind of transparent. I've only seen a couple of Ozu movies, so I need to work through these because I do appreciate and generally like Asian cinema a lot. So I'm looking forward to watching this release from Criterion. Next up, speaking of David Cronenberg, from Vinegar Syndrome, that was kind of released on Thanksgiving Day, Existence. Vinegar Syndrome has Jude Law, Jefferson Lee in it. Very Cronenberg-esque. I'll just say that. It's been a while. I watched this back in the 90s when it came out, and I remember liking it a lot at the time. Even though I think it's one of his films that doesn't get a lot of acknowledgement for whatever reason. I'm glad Vinegar Syndrome got it at least. Next up is the film that introduced me to Westerns. Now, I knew what Western movies were. I watched them sometime on TV, and I'm talking like the John Wayne ones. They don't speak to me. I know a lot of people like them or like them. But Young Guns kind of got me into it. This is the Steelbook from Best Buy. Rest in peace, Best Buy Physical Media. And it's what got me into other Westerns like Clint Eastwood, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Tombstone, amongst other ones. So I really love this movie a lot, so I'm glad they brought it to 4K. And the Steelbook's cool too. With another version of this movie coming out soon, if not already at this point, I told my wife that she needed to watch the original before she went to see the new one, and that's the original, The Color Purple, directed by Steven Spielberg. This is a fantastic movie. This is a fantastic steelbook. I mean, it's generally the poster art, but that's fine. I like when they do things like that and they don't, overdo it with the photoshopping and all that. So I have to show this to her, so I'm looking forward to watching that. Next up is a big influence for a lot of my books. I shouldn't say a lot, I have like 6 books. For a couple of my books and one that's coming out, and that's Stand By Me Steelbook Edition. Now, I had the regular one. I just didn't like the cover of it, and my daughter really likes the movie a lot too, so I just gave her that version, and I got the steelbook for myself because I just prefer this art more than the other one personally. I don't really know what to say. River Phoenix, rest in peace. He was they're all good in it, but he was so good in this as well. So good. Next up is kind of a blind buy. This was recommended by Elliot Cohen on his YouTube channel. This was Long Arm of the Law Part 1 and 2. I like Asian cinema. He really recommended it on the channel, so I was like, all right, fine. So I went ahead and got it because it wasn't out yet here in the U.S. As opposed to the U.K., I guess. So yeah, go watch that. Now these next ones are boutique ones as well, but they're all from one studio or boutique Blu-ray studio, and that is Radiance Films. The first one is spine number 26 from them. This is The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. So this looks right up my alley from 1962 Italian movie. This is spine number 25. This is Scream and Scream Again for Radiance. I believe this one had Vincent Price and Christopher Lee, but not like in like a major capacity. To me, the way I understand it, it's kind of like Tales of the Crypt, where they kind of introduce the movie. I'm not sure 100% about that, but that's just what I understand or what I've heard. So with that. Next up is spine number 11 from Radiance. This was from 1968, a French film called The Bride Wore Black for Radiance. The cover alone just intrigued me so much. And yes, a lot of these are blind buys. Hopefully, more times than not, they land with me. Sometimes they don't. But if they don't, that's okay. All right. Next up is a newer one. This is back from 1962. Another French film, spine number 29, is Les Combats dans les Îles. I'm gonna butcher these names, by the way. So there's that one as well with a 2K restoration. So looking forward to that. This one I actually saw. This is She Dies Tomorrow. Just talk about a bleak. I mean, it's a good film, but it's essentially like depression just kind of being passed on, it seems like. It's just so bleak, and just these people just become so hopeless. Like, you have to watch and understand what I'm talking about, but this came out in 2020. And the only reason I watched this is because it was in like top psychological films for that year on some of the lists I watched on YouTube and other places. So I gave this a shot. It's a good movie. And it has a cameo by director Adam Wingard, if I remember correctly. Next one is another recommendation. This is the Commedia all'Italiana. So, got 3 films by Dino Risi. Now, one of these films is Il Sorpasso, which was a Criterion release, which I have, and I didn't realize that I got it, which is, it's fine, not a big deal. But I heard a lot of good things about this box set, so I went ahead and got that. This next one is the Last Radiance one. It's also a box set. These are spined 30, 31, and 32. I've never seen these films, but the cover, the box art alone said, yes, I'm going to go ahead and buy this. Because that artwork in the front and the back of this, by the way, is crazy. Whoop. Yeah. So these are 3 films: War of the Worlds, Next Century, Gaga, Glory to the Heroes of Obi-Oba, The End of Civilization. So all of these 2K restorations spanning 1981 to 1985, Polish movies, but I just kind of love good box art. I really do. So that's everything, guys. Obviously, you know, holidays haven't happened yet, Christmas and all that. So I'm sure, knowing my family and knowing me and the kind of people we are, we're going to get more movies to put in our collection in our limited space, even though there's a brand new room with brand new shelving. It's a problem. You know what I mean. Tell me what you think. Have you seen any of these movies, or do you get them? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'm Brian with Nerd Theory. Take it easy.